you've got these different lines of business. One is you're building these relatively complex machines that can take months to build.
Yes.
You're distributing replacement parts or supply, or right, maybe some small parts for existing customers. You're also having to do service,
Yes.
on-site service or repair or maintenance, right? And a lot of times, like, we hear our clients tell us that, well, this system was really good at this. The system's really good at that. But I think Business Central has components, right? And the ability to handle all those things. And you're actually using multiple of them together. Yeah. So like a customer, right, places a new order for 3 new packaging machines. That is a job.
Yes.
Right? And you have to do engineering.
Yes.
Right, an engineer to order, or right, to ETO type model.
Exactly.
You've got to do a bunch of engineering for some of the components maybe on these machines. You've got other internal costs that you may need to track. But then you're going to kick off some production orders.
Yes.
Onto the manufacturing shop floor, and do your traditional manufacturing. I'm using air quotes.
Of course.
Traditional manufacturing type operations, right? And those pieces kind of work together, right, to create that solution.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that most companies like mine look at is just that production cost, because that's really what they view as like the tangible cost. It's like, okay, how many did we make? What were the labor hours involved with it? And you sort of look at the office staff, your engineers and people like that as just part of your overhead. And really it does go into the cost of that machine, and what future revenue you can realize off of it. So I think that having that visibility is a huge factor for us. And it's something that I don't think we were mindful of previously. And I think now it's definitely a hot topic for us.
The benefit.
Yes.
So a question to Ken, actually, how common is it for companies to actually use, let's say, jobs and manufacturing together? Is that common?
Yeah, it is. In this engineer to order model where you're building a machine, let's say, right, or some sort of device that's going to be tailored for a client, it's actually pretty common, right? Yeah, because and part of it has to do not just with the operational side of the business, but it's the sales side too. So meaning, right, I get a customer, they want this machine, but they want me to do this customization to it and add this custom component or whatever to it, right? Well, I'm not going to explicitly break down a price for all these different things I'm going to do. I'm just going to tell them, look, I'm going to charge you $250,000 for this. And that's going to include everything we just talked about here. And I'm going to charge you today, I'm going to send you an invoice for $100,000 as a deposit. And you're going to pay that invoice. But I can't recognize revenue yet, right? So I need to track that as like deferred revenue. So that's where jobs comes into play. The fact that, so it has to do also not just with the operational side, but your billing and your revenue recognition and cost recognition and how that flows to your financials. So that's really important for these types of models, so because they cross over multiple months, right? Okay. It's not like I'm going to take a job and it's going to be over in 3 days.
Right.
You don't need really jobs in that case because it's all typically happening in one period. Mm-hmm. But when you're building a $500,000 machine or whatever it is, right, with all this custom engineering work, that's going to take maybe 3 months or 6 months, or right.
And to Ken's point, so one of the things that we actually use jobs for at the end of every project is to do a cost of goods sold review. So we'll go through the project as a whole. So it's multi-machine, single or multi. You'll go through and you'll look through all of those costs. And this is data that we did not have previously. And just the amount of information that you can glean out of that is just so valuable to the company. It also lets you know for future projects, like, was this a worthwhile project to do? Because you start to look at it and say, okay, here's the unknowns that we went into this project with, and here's the amount of engineering that took to do that particular project. Is it worth it for us and the customer to go forward on a project like this? So it's information you didn't have previously, that really is invaluable when you think about it, in maintaining your business. So those COGS meetings that we do at the end of every sales wrap, or I'm sorry, order wrap up, really give us that view of that. And jobs module definitely gives us that visibility that we'd never had before.